Cardi B walked into Booby Trap on the river like she owned the night, and Miami knew it. The lights hit her diamonds before they hit her face, and that alone was enough to send the room into a quiet frenzy. But the moment the first stack left her hand and hit the floor, the energy shifted. Fans commented that it looked like a full circle moment because every move she made felt intentional, from the way she watched the dancers to the way she smiled, as if she was reliving something personal. She took a seat in her section, surrounded by friends, security, and people who pretended not to stare. What caught the internet's attention was how still she became. Reported witnesses said she wasn't just throwing money for the spectacle, she was studying the girls, watching how they moved, how they worked the stage, and how they protected their bags like their lives depended on it. People online said you could see the memory flash across her face before she even opened her mouth. When Cardi finally spoke, the crowd leaned in. Fans claimed she said she remembered being broke, grinding every day, doing certain jobs just to survive. And now, seeing these women dance for their money brought a wave of nostalgia she wasn't prepared for. It wasn't glamorous, she allegedly told her circle. It was survival. She said the club smelled the same way the places she used to work smelled. It hit her hard. One reported detail that set social media ablaze was how emotional she appeared. She wasn't crying, but her voice had weight to it. Fans believed she was reliving the hunger, the pressure, and the uncertainty of her come-up. And it made the moment even more powerful when she started throwing more money, not for attention, but as a nod to every girl doing exactly what she once did to escape circumstances that boxed her in. Clips began circulating within minutes, and the commentary evolved fast. Some fans cried at the story behind the visuals, others argued the blogs were being dramatic. But one thing nobody could deny was the shift in her tone when she allegedly said that her life now revolves around her boyfriend Stefon Diggs and her 4 kids. It wasn't bragging, it was a declaration, the kind that hinted at peace she wasn't always sure she would get. People online were confused and fascinated when she casually mentioned taking care of Stefon now. Not financially, but emotionally, according to fans who analyzed her body language. She made it sound like she had found someone who respected her, grounded her, and matched her energy in ways her past partners never did. Even critics noted that she talked about him differently, almost like she was letting the world know this wasn't temporary. The Miami crowd seemed to feel the shift too. The vibe at her table changed from party to reflection. She kept glancing back at the stage, pointing out certain girls, and saying they reminded her of herself at 19, 20, 21. Those early nights when she was hustling, fighting to keep her confidence intact, fighting to avoid getting lost in the lifestyle. Cardi reportedly leaned into her friend and whispered something that sparked another wave of chatter online. If you don't know hunger, you don't know power. Some fans argue she wasn't talking about money at all. They believe she meant emotional hunger, the kind that forces you to rebuild yourself, the kind that teaches you who deserves to stand beside you. And that's where Stefon's name came up again. People in the club claim she spoke about him with pure certainty, the kind that shuts down rumors before they even start. She said he appreciates the version of her she fought to become. By the time the night reached its peak, the room had shifted from a party to a documentary moment. Cardi was laughing, throwing money again, but every laugh had an undertone. She wasn't the girl dancing for survival anymore. She was the woman blessing the stage. And that contrast hit fans deeply, sparking thousands of comments about growth, redemption, and how her past built the life she has now. But then came the strange moment nobody can fully explain. A fan-recorded clip shows Cardi suddenly stopping mid-conversation, looking down at her phone and shaking her head before saying something that immediately confused the people around her. The audio was unclear, but fans swear they heard her say, "It's always when I'm at peace." And that moment has the blogs asking the same question. What exactly interrupted her night in Miami? She stepped away from her section just long enough to catch her breath near the back wall, but that only fueled more speculation. Reported witnesses said Cardi kept glancing at her phone with the look that didn't match the celebration she walked in with. Some fans believe she was responding to a message from someone close, something heavy enough to cut through the fun. And because Stefon's name had already been swirling in conversations, the internet immediately spiraled into curiosity about whether the moment had anything to do with him or her kids. A few minutes later, she returned to her seat, but the vibe was different. She wasn't throwing money anymore. She wasn't reminiscing. She was focused, eyes sharp, jaw tight. Fans described it as the kind of expression she gets when she's about to address something publicly. People in the club said her friends leaned in, asking her if she was good, and she kept brushing them off with short answers, as if she was trying to process something before reacting. That's when a club goer captured a clip of her saying, "Every time I get a little joy, something tries me." The internet tore that line apart. Some took it as she speaking generally about fame and the constant pressure to stay unbothered. Others claimed she could have been referring to the nonstop chatter about her relationship with Stefon. Rumored reports suggested some people were pushing negative narratives lately, and fans believe she was feeling that weight in real time. The clip spread fast, pulling more opinions into the discourse. Some Twitter users pointed out Cardi had been unusually reflective lately, posting about gratitude, growth, and motherhood. Others argued the blogs were reaching, insisting nothing was wrong at all. And then came the faction of fans who insisted she was triggered by seeing dancers who reminded her of her past, sparking emotions she didn't expect. The interpretations were endless. While fans were dissecting her mood, someone else noticed another detail. Stefon Diggs was quiet. Too quiet. His social media, usually active, suddenly went still that night. Fans flooded his comment section asking if everything was good, if he had seen the viral clips, or if he was planning to comment. A few even joked that he was probably asleep, but others believed the silence was telling. This only heightened curiosity about what Cardi saw on her phone. As the night went on, Cardi settled back in, but she wasn't the same woman who walked into the club. One reported witness said she kept tapping her nails on the table, staring toward the stage without really watching. It was like she had drifted out of the party mentally. That's when her friend allegedly asked if she wanted to leave, and Cardi said no because she didn't want to bring any energy home. Fans debated whether she meant negative energy or emotional baggage. Around 2:30 a.m., she finally stood up and pulled her security team together. People in the room said she walked out gracefully, waving at the dancers and thanking the staff before heading to her car. But one detail stood out. She held her phone in her hand the entire time, screen facing inward, and she never stopped checking it. Reported witnesses said her expression softened, almost like something had resolved. Fans believe she might have spoken to one of her kids or Stefon himself. Once she got in the car, more clips circulated from people who caught her leaving. In one angle, she whispered something that fans tried to lip read. The guesses were wild. "I'm good now. They played too much. I'm done with this. Let's go home." Nobody could agree, but everyone agreed the energy was complicated. She wasn't angry. She wasn't sad. She looked settled, but not satisfied, and that made the night even more mysterious. Hours later, at nearly 4 a.m., she posted a message on her Instagram story that sent the internet straight into detective mode. "Peace is expensive. Guard it." No images, no follow-up, nothing else. Fans immediately connected it to the Miami moment, arguing she was addressing whatever made her pause at the club. Others insisted she was simply reflecting on her life and the journey from survival to stability. But no matter how people interpreted it, the timing was surgical. And that brings us to the cliffhanger that nobody has been able to shake. If Cardi walked in celebrating her past and present, what exactly happened in that moment that made her shift so sharply? Was it family, rumors, relationship tension, or just the emotional weight of her own memories catching up to her? Fans are still debating, still analyzing clips, and still trying to piece together the unseen part of the Miami night. Whatever it was, it clearly followed her home.